guys, this is Boho with the info, and today I promised you guys a little bit of a cooking situation of information, but at the same time, for all you preppers out there looking to maybe save you more money, and also the retirement community, maybe to be more frugal and to help you with saving some money, right, at the grocery store. Everything is high, right? So today, I'm going to show you something that is going to make you utilize stuff in your backyard if you're living in Florida, okay? So today, we're going to be working with a variety of different things. This is just going to give you an example, okay? But this is a good prepping item for your people that are in prepping, okay, or wants to store something maybe for long term, because ginger does eventually in the refrigerator go bad. So this will help maintain it longer. There's tube stuff like this. This one I actually found at, I believe it was Dollar Tree. They have these stores in the South that are a Dollar Tree type situation. And yeah. And it's like ginger, I guess. It's going to be my first time using the product. I figure we check it out together and see how it goes. But yeah. So I'm going to show you ways to maintain a pantry, save you some money, and utilize stuff that you have not only in your kitchen, but in your yard or backyard if you have it. And sometimes you can find things like, I have a whole bag of banana leaves here. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but these are all hand-picked from my yard, from the banana trees. And these are not steamed, but they are clean, so they kind of, look like this, right? So I just pulled a few off, put them in a produce bag that you can get at the grocery store, and then make little pieces like this. And we're going to use that in a little bit with some other stuff, right? And then I have the actual banana flower. These come out when the actual flower and the stem of the bananas are ready to be opened up and picked. And so we're going to show you how to use this. If you're living in the South, you're trying to survive off the land, or you have a prepping thing, or maybe you're just an elderly person and you can't afford a lot of produce. So we're going to use this actually in a salad. I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. And then right now in Florida, we have a lot of mangoes coming in as a big bumper crop, I think, right now. But that's happening because I've noticed a lot of trees, and whether you're living in Florida or someplace else in the tropical zone, right now, a lot of the mangoes are starting to come in on the trees, ripen up. When they get this color, I don't know if you can see that or not. Maybe we better turn another light on here. See if I can get enough light on you guys. But it has like an orangish red area. Usually starts at the core here where it connects to the tree. When that happens, early indication that you can actually pick them when they're up, about almost halfway, which is like on this side here, even though this side isn't. And you can set them in your house and they'll start ripening like a green tomato, okay? At the same time, you can use these green-wise as a salad, okay? And just to give you an indication, I've kind of trimmed one down. This is the actual baby seed, so it's a smaller, it's not a full adult type thing. And then you'll get actual pieces here that I'm going to be cutting up and putting in a salad. Kind of looks like an avocado, but it's really, really, really hard, okay? So when you cut this up, it's got to be like a julienne cut, and I will show you how to do that in a little bit. And then we have what I call these crow's feet peppers. I grow these. And they're very hot, but they're kind of similar to like the Thai chili pepper, in that way. And then I also have some golden raisins, which we're going to put in there as well. And that's going to be an area where it's going to show you you're using your food from your yard, okay? Whether you grow your stuff or store certain things like this in your pantry that you can actually make a meal out of. So this would be good for like a salad, okay? That you could have either at lunchtime or dinner time, okay? And I'm on another board here, so I'm just going to talk to you like such here. But I'm going to show you in this mixing bowl how we're going to put everything together, okay? And you really, really want really fine julienne slices, okay? And for those who don't know what julienne is, maybe something like that. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's julienne. And they're really thin. See the thickness of that? Okay, really thin. Sometimes you can make them like a little noodle. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go smaller than a noodle, you can. There's actual equipment out there like mandolins and things that you can run some of this through. I have seen people even do them on graters if you have a food grater, like a handheld food grater. So yeah, that's that. And then we're going to put some of this in a bowl like this, right? And then we're going to keep doing a little bit more. And remember, all this stuff you can grow in your yard. Now, let's say you don't grow any mangoes in your yard, but you got a neighbor down the street, right? And you see like the tree's all green and it's full and you don't think they're going to use it all. Go up to that neighbor and say, hey, man, can I have like maybe a dozen of them? And they'll probably more than likely give it to you because there's no way in how they're going to use it, okay? And when you want to pick these, is pick them when they're green, okay? Pick these when they're green, not solid green, like I told you. See how I did that there? Where it's a little pink, okay? And red on the bottom by the core. You want to look for the core area, okay? That's where you want to go ahead and do that by, all right? And if you can get them more, that's great. But here's the thing. When they become more red, they get softer. And they're really not good for this kind of salad. You can use it to tenderize meat. I don't know if any of you guys know that or not, but you can use mangoes for tenderizing meats, flavoring meats, put in salads. This is if it's in the raw, in the actual, what do you call it? The ripened state, okay? So you see how I did this? I basically followed the seed on its side to find out where it is, because the seed is like this and you've got to follow it along the long side of it and trim it, okay? So anyway, yeah. So here again, we cut it in half again. So we're making the piece that I have smaller, right? And we're going to go ahead and do a little bit more of this. Now, throughout this little show, we're going to also give you some tidbit information on some herbs, how to stock certain things in your pantry, what to use it for beyond cooking, because there's things in your pantry you can use beyond cooking that could help you with like colds, flus, stuff like that, right? We're going to talk a little bit about that. So you see how I did that, right? We sliced it on the side. You can trim this over here. See how I put my knife in there where the thickness of it is? Okay. That's how you feel where the actual seed is, okay? And if you want to grow one, save it, save it, put it in the ground, and maybe about, 6 months or so, you'll have something. Now, here's the actual flower, and what we're looking at, we're going to save some of these outer leaves, but you see this part here? Those are the actual little flowers that are the flowers, but open up more, but they actually turn into the banana. Okay, if you have a banana tree, these are the little things that go into the banana. Okay, and make a banana on your banana tree. So what we're going to do is I've already trimmed all this. You see how far down the stem I did it, right? And each one of these little leaves, purple leaves, which is part of the flower, okay, is where we're going to trim it. See, like that. And we're going to keep doing it and keep doing it. And if you want to, these little things are great to save, okay? Because you can put a little bit of the salad in there and use it as hors d'oeuvres, appetizers, stuff like that, right? If you have a little bunch of people together kind of thing, right? So you see how this is. This grows on a big vine, goes down into your banana tree, and then, you know, it does its thing, you know, and creates these little stems, and then it creates your little salad. And everybody says, well, what do these things look like close up? Well, that's what the flower looks like close up. I hope you can see it. Okay. And then you're going to continue, because the more you strip them away, the less of these little stems are. Okay. And you're going to keep clipping and clipping and clipping. And just to let you guys know, for a little reference, yes, I have a lot of cooking experience. I've traveled through South America, or not South America, but Mexico, the Caribbean, in the Americas, and basically explored different types of ethnical foods. See how this is growing against it? See these little notches? That's where your little stems are coming from, okay? So we're going to go ahead and cut this now, because it's getting a little bit harder. So you can see right here, see this juice? That's natural banana juice. It's quite bitter. So, oops, that one just flew at me there. So yeah, you get it down as much as you can. I mean, pretty soon there's not going to be anything left. There's like maybe 5 per leaf or less. So get it as far down as you can and keep stripping it away. It's kind of like working with a artichoke maybe kind of way. So yeah, and it just keeps going and going and going and going. So you get an idea, right? So let's just go with that. And then, now remember, these items are things that you can find in your yard. Things that you might be growing, or your neighbor's growing, or whatever, right? So, all right, I'm trying to find the best of the little purple leaves here for later. Give you a little decoration here. Because I don't have anybody over, so. All right, so here's that. And then what we're going to do now is take some of this, because we've already got this together, right? This is going to be a little bit of your salad. And then you just mix a little bit of that like that, right? And then what I like to do is take in some raw peanuts. Now you'll find some in the bag in an Oriental store. And you can cut these up, but I just add some in there for protein, because you've got your vegetable, you've got your fruit, and now you're going to have your protein, which is the nuts, right? And then we're going to put in some of these hot chilies. They look like that. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but those hot chilies are there just for a taste. They're not a massive amount, okay? There's seeds in them. I don't know. Here, I'll put it on my knife. Maybe you can see it. There's seeds in these, okay? And you want all that in there, because that's part of the flavor, right? Now now this is kind of like a restaurant style kind of thing, but here's the thing. Restaurants won't be showing you some of the stuff that I'm showing you, because they do it all the way, and we're not going to do it all the way. And so we're going to show you how all that stuff is going to, you know, play out, because we're going to use products in our house that we may already have, right? So, yeah. So here we are. We're going to do it that way. And then what I do is I put in a little bit of raisins, not much. just for a little bit of flavor, right? Not much, just a little bit, okay? And then, let me move that here. What I like to do is give this a kind of like an Asian, Southwestern fusion kind of thing, okay? And I put in just a teeny bit of salt right there, right? Because that's just a little bit of that stuff. And then, where is it? Hang on. Okay. My tomatoes. Where'd my tomatoes go? Okay. So we also grow tomatoes in our yard. We've got our grape tomatoes. We've got our Roma tomatoes. Okay. And we're going to put some of these in there to give it some color, different texture kind of thing going on, right? A little different flavor. These little things, even though they're microscopic, because this is just the way that crop came in, are really sweet. They're almost like sugar. All right. So what we're going to do is basically cut all those puppies in half, right? We're going to cut them in half. And we're going to put them right in there, like that. Oh, one more. There we go. All right. Now, we got a little bit of that. We got a little bit of that. Now we're going to put a little bit of green onions in there. Just a little bit. So, here is some green onions from my garden that we're going to cut up. Okay, people, just a little bit, like that much. Okay, those are green onions. And we're going to cut a little bit of those up. And when I mean cut them up, it's kind of like chopping them up, kind of fine, but not real fine. And I know some of my, I guess my husband's employees don't know how to cut vegetables for some reason. I guess I have a problem with it. So if he says, hey, I want you to cut me some onions, okay? It's kind of like that, guys, okay? Like that. And we're going to put that in there, okay? And then, see how it is on my knife, okay? Just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit. Nothing major. All right, now we're going to do the vinaigrette. So let me get another bowl here. And we're going to do the vinaigrette. So on my vinaigrette, remember, we're not going to the store. We're not buying nothing special. We're going to look in our refrigerator to see what we got, right? So if you don't have a lemon, okay, just saying if you don't have a lemon, you got this lemon juice, right? So we're going to put some of that in a bowl. We're going to make our vinaigrette in a separate bowl, okay? And we're going to give it probably about a quarter to half teaspoon because I like a lot of acid just in case there's a problem to break for bacteria. And that's another thing. People don't realize for preppers or senior citizens, sometimes they get sick off their food. It's because of the bacteria. Either you didn't cook it enough or you didn't wash it good enough or something happened. So get yourself some lemons and limes and squeeze that over your food, and that will help you with whatever you need to be sanitary with. All right. I just tasted that ginger out of the tube. It's not too bad. It's not like the real thing, but the flavor's there. Okay. It is Parade, so it's a little bit different. Okay. And then we're going to add a little bit of this. Okay. This is just a dressing. If you've got an Italian dressing in your refrigerator, you can do the same thing. By the way, any new people coming in, you can always rewind this video to find the whole thing of what we're doing today. So yeah, we're going to add that to the bowl. And you want to see kind of like what that looks like right now. Kind of looks like that. And that's our thing. Now, here's another thing. Those little chilies I showed you, those red ones, they become yellow. And when they're yellow, I cook them in a vinaigrette. And it makes a like hot vinaigrette. So, yeah. So, ooh, love it. If your salad is not hot enough and you like spicy, we'll just add a little drip. And yeah, that will just give it a little bit more flavor there. Okay. So that's that part of the recipe. Remember, we're not buying nothing. We're utilizing what we have out of the refrigerator. Okay. We're using the goods that we have already in the refrigerator. Okay. Now, I also have in my fridge some cilantro. And cilantro is really good in a lot of different salads, especially when it comes to Thai, Asian, Mexican, Spanish dishes, etc. Okay? And we're going to go ahead and add some of that to our dressing, like that. Okay? So, yep, that's a good thing right there. Remember, all these items are in your fridge. Now, if you don't have cilantro, you can also put parsley in there. If you got dried parsley, even in your herbs in your cabinet, okay? It's just giving you a different texture, okay? Different flavor. So we're going to dump all that in our salad, like that. And then we're going to mix it, like that. Okay, see that? Now I'm going to give me a little taste here. That's quite good. I'm going to taste one. That's quite good. Now, good stuff. All right. So the other thing that I would add to this, because it has a bitter factor, is sugar. Okay? Or honey. I tend to use honey better than sugar because not only it's natural, but it has a more potent duration on it, and sugar kind of gets into like, I don't know, another area, of stuff. And especially if you're diabetic or something, honey's better for you in a way, I'm not saying I am, but, for those who are out there, maybe. See, this one's already setting up, been stored for a while. So I give it about, just for this little bit, maybe a tablespoon or two, right? And if you're asking me what kind of honey, this is orange blossom honey. This is a Florida item. Now, those preppers out there that have, what do you call it? A pantry. Honey, sugar, coffee, all that stuff should be your normal staple in your pantry. Okay, and water. Okay. So let's see how that is now. I think just a little bit more. I like that. Let's do a little more. I like honey. See, I like this almost like it's sweet. Going to be sweet like a marinated coleslaw that's a sweet coleslaw. Kind of like that. But only with what I have. There's no cream. Nothing to make it creamy. So you see the sauce coming off the side. As this bleeds over the day, if you set it up in the refrigerator, you can even set it up for 24 hours in your refrigerator and it will come out really good too. Okay, now that's good. So there you go. And we're going to look at it this way on the plate over here. Show you how to plate up maybe. There we go. All right, so here's the plating. This is my plate. You see how I use banana, the banana leaves, the green ones, plus a little bit of flour, you know, where we got the stems from. And basically, voila, there you go. That is your salad. And if you want to go further and you have any more of these little stems, you can add that on top of it if you want to. If not, then, you know, it's your thing, okay? You do what you want to do with it. But just that serving right there is a good little kind of like appetizer thing or salad, whichever you want to do. Some people like to cut up the nuts more. I like crunch. So you can do whatever you want to do with it, you know? So that's one item. Then, let's see what else. All right. So we're going to put this on the back burner over here. Put this over here. This over here. Now, the other thing we're going to show you guys. Now, remember, if you want to know what the cost of that is, let's see, the cost of that I just did, this cost of this right here, providing that you grow your own stuff, would be at the most probably, let's see, I grew the mangoes, I did the bananas, banana leaves and all that. The only thing I bought was the raisins at a dollar store for $1. The nuts were a couple bucks, but I didn't use more than probably a quarter worth of that. And then the dressing, you just utilize your dressing out of your refrigerator, whatever kind of vinaigrette you have, okay? You can use any vinaigrette for that. And then sugar, if you probably already have sugar or honey. So there's really no cost to that because you probably already have it in there. So I'm going to guesstimate it probably cost you maybe $2.05 for that. Okay, providing you've already got the items in-house, you know, or you're growing it. So for $2.05, you have a little lunch for you. Okay, now this beats some of the other YouTube channels out there that says, okay, hey, I'm going to make you a meal for $5 or $10, you know, and, you know, we're going to, you know, that's how much it costs. Well, this one's only $2.05. Okay, $2.05, and you got yourself a meal, right? And here's the thing. You can either eat this for lunch, you can eat this for dinner, or you can even change it into an appetizer. You can store this in a refrigerator in a Tupperware and use it for an appetizer with guests coming over. It's a good marinated salad even, okay? Good marinated salad. So, okay, so we're going to put that over yonder here. Now we're going to go over some other things. I'll put that over here. You guys like looking at that, I can tell. Where can you see that? Right there, maybe? Here? Okay, right there. How's that? Right there? There we go. How's that? Right there. Okay. So the other thing we're going to go over is where else can we save money, right? So we know that a lot of items of food at the store are skyrocketing right now, right? It's hitting the roof. There's shortages on beef. There's shortages on other items sometimes. Here's an idea I'm going to show you guys. And it's kind of funny because my grandma taught me this, I guess, because she was involved with the Depression. They would keep things like tinfoil, okay? And you just have something, you know, simple wrapped in it, but there's no food in it, you know? So, like, let's say, like if I went to a Mexican place and they put tortillas in it, save that aluminum foil because we can use that for wrapping later, right? If you go to some fast food place inside, grab napkins. If you're going through a drive-through, grab whatever you can grab. Sometimes they even give you packets. Grab a few more packets, okay? Eventually, you're going to be making a big kit here, and I'll show you that when I get everything situated here. But also, besides that, you have to look at different types of condiments, okay? All kinds of condiments, okay? They come in your stuff and just say, hey, man, just throw me in a handful of give me like 5 or 6 packages of ketchup, mustard, whatever they got, sugar for your coffee in the morning, creamer in the morning if they got it separate. Grab any of that stuff on the side because anything that is in food related in little packets like that will actually save you from buying it from the grocery store. So for example, like right here, I've got packets right here of sugar, ketchup, salt. There's salt there. Let's see, what else have I saved and used? And here's the thing, if you go picnicking, great item to go. If you've got a bug out bag, great items to put in your bug out bag. Even from your Oriental places, they give you like this duck sauce and soy sauce. Save that. Soy sauce is a really good source of sodium. Okay, really good source of sodium. So if you don't have enough salt in your pantry, soy sauce is the next best thing. Duck sauce. Okay, I don't know if anybody read the ingredients on it, which I'm going to, but it has fructose, corn syrup, water, apricots, okay, and other little things, but it does have some fruit in it. The duck sauce has fruit in it, and it has sugar stuff. So if you need something in your bug out bag to give you some sugar in something, this is a great substitute for actually carrying sugar, jams, jellies, sweetening your food with and stuff like that too, right? Okay. Now the other thing, and sometimes you need that sweetness to put in a salad or salad dressing. You can use that duck sauce. We'll show you another time on all that, how to do that. But like, here's all my bag right here. I don't know if you guys can see inside of it, but there's all napkins, silverware, little condiments and stuff like that. Make yourself a bag like that. Condense it into a big Ziploc. You can have it accessible and ready to go for a bug out bag, for a picnic, in an emergency if we have a hurricane or anything else, right? Okay. So that's my tip number 2. Now, what else was I going to show you guys? Give me a minute here. So the other tips is dealing with spices. What kind of things do you put in your pantry? Okay, and it depends on your flavorings and stuff like that. And what do I store it in, right? So here's an example. This is just a, let me show you the type of jar, because I use things like this. So I have something like this, right, in my pantry, which gives me a chicken flavor for either soup sauces or whatever. But this, if you read the label on it, it does have roasted chicken in it, salt, sugar, corn syrup, and soy protein. So there is a protein in there besides the chicken, right? Food starch and dried whey. Dried whey is a milk, okay? So you could stock up on this in your pantry. You'll have some salt. You'll have some protein. Very accessible for making soups, whether you're elderly, for the prepper, for something else, right? But see, the same kind of jar, I turn it into my fennel jar. Save your jars. Don't buy anything from the store. Save your jars. Don't even buy it online. Don't even bother buying it online. Here, let me move that out of the way. So, yeah, jars are a big thing, right? And what else was I going to show you? Oh, remember I told you about rendering fats? I think in my last video, right? Okay. So this is from an actual blackened fish situation, and I'm trying to get it hard because I just put it in the refrigerator. But you keep your oils. What happens in the refrigerator, all the dark stuff usually falls to the bottom, and then the top part of it you can scrape off and use for cooking, okay? Put that in the refrigerator in a coffee cup. You can put saran over it to keep it, right? And if you want to know what it looks like afterwards, okay, that's kind of what it looks like afterwards. That's what makes it hard in the refrigerator. And it doesn't do it right away. It takes about, at least 24 hours, okay? But anyway, you can use that for cooking, right? Now, let's see, what else I was going to show you guys. Other containers. That was the other thing. Give me a minute here. So other containers like oil bottles, okay? Even though I got a little oil in this one. Or you have pecani sauce jars. Save it, because here's the thing. If you don't want to keep storing fat, let's say in a coffee cup, you can keep pouring the liquid in here. After a while, when you get it full, of course, it's going to have separation layers, which is bad because then you have to separate it later and open it up. But you can do alternative things. Like, remember in my last video, I talked about buttermilk, right? Clean these containers out and only fill it up to like right here and put it in your freezer. And then you can keep buttermilk in there. And what I mean by buttermilk is when your milk spoils, okay, it starts getting lumpy and it tastes sour, right? Well, that's basically going into the vent of buttermilk. And you add a little bit of vinegar to it and then mix it up and then put it in the bottle like this up to here, freeze it up, label it buttermilk, and then you can pull it out later to make salad dressing and stuff, right? I gotta have a, that salad's so good. Wish you were here to taste it. Anyway, seeds, another thing. I gotta show you this. I gotta teach you this. How to survive with produce stuff. So, I'll take my little plate right here. Hopefully you can see that. Can you see that? Yeah. All right, so I got a little plate right here somewhere. There we go. And I'm going to show you the seeds, okay? What I did is I took a medicine bottle, take the label off. Sometimes your parents have it, elderly, whoever, and save all your seeds. This is one of several things of seeds I got. Sometimes I'll separate them because they're special seeds. I'll know what they're for. Other times they're not. As you can see in here, I've got a variety mixture, and only me knows what they are, okay? And then I got little ones. These real little ones are from a strawberry, believe it or not. So, and I put these separate in saran, put them in the bottle like so, right? But the seeds are very important because anything you get in produce at the store probably has a seed or a stem for a root. And you can utilize and save all that and actually make new plants with it, right? Look, this has got water on it. So like these here are citrus, lemons, limes. You don't know until you plant them now, I guess. These here actually came from a spaghetti squash, right? I love spaghetti squash. I don't know how many out there do. And then these little ones here are your apples. Believe it or not, in Florida, if you have the ground correct and you water it correctly, yes, you will have an apple tree. And how you can progress it, you'll have to watch detailed videos on it to get it going. But right now, I do have apple trees that are probably around 4 foot, 3 foot, somewhere in there, right? And then you can do the same thing with the mango, right? The mango that we just cut up for the salad, right? And then dry these out because these are all dried. Put them back into your jar after they're dried only. Make sure they're fully dried. You cannot put these seeds in the refrigerator. They have to be dried. Don't put them in the oven either. Okay? Not for these seeds. We got a mess going on here, don't we? But this is all depression tips. Stuff that they did in the depression. Everything I'm showing you. Everything I'm showing you. These are some of the things that my grandparents and parents have shown me through the years. Okay. But yep, save your seeds, all of them. And you'll say, well, hey, I don't have a green thumb. Well, that's okay. Put it in the ground and let your kids water it. If you got kids, if you don't have kids, let your grandkids do it. And if you don't have grandkids, then just put it in some nice soil and accessible to your front or back door that's easy for you to get in and out to give it a shot of water. Now, everybody asks me, well, you grow great plants. I don't have a green thumb. How do you do it? Okay. How I do it is by putting your plant in. I live in Florida now. You might be different in the northern states, but in the southern states, from what I'm seeing so far in the years I've been down here, if you put your plants facing west, okay, that gives good exposure to sun, okay, they do very well. If you give them where they're like 50% shade or more, it doesn't do as well. Also, watering. Since Florida sometimes can be under a drought situation, you have to probably water your plants about every 2 to 3 days. And what I mean by water is not a light water. You have to get the soil muddy like swampy like. And I'll give you some examples because I'm still growing stuff left and right, right? So, give you some examples. I have this one here, which is, believe it or not, a blood orange. Okay, this is actually grown from my seeds. As you can see, it's just in the same kind of jar that I had for my chicken stock, beef stock. Okay, but if you see the soil, you can see the roots. And if you look at the soil, it's damp like swamp water. Once it starts drying up, then it won't grow as fast. Okay, so you have about 2 to 3 days on stuff like that. Now there is a avocado. He's a wimpy little avocado, but he had a lot of roots. And avocados take a long time. Just to give you a time frame on these two, when I put the seed in for the blood orange, it took roughly, let's see, about 3 weeks before it sprouted. And that's after a dry seed situation. Any oranges, citrus will do the same thing, okay? Avocados now, they're very temperamental. Unless your seed is already cracked open, it may not grow, first of all. Second of all, if it's cracked open, what you need to do on an avocado seed is put it in water like this and wait for that puppy to open. If it don't open, then you know it's not going to probably grow, meaning that the seed's no good. But you have to keep it in water. It has to be at least 50% covered on the seed. Once it grows roots, you can put it in soil. And then this one took close to 1 month before it sprouted. And that was only like a 1/4 inch. So this has been in my window for about a half a year. This is how long those take, okay? Another thing for produce-wise is, which I trimmed from, is green onions. And if you don't work in the food service business, but you buy green onions at the store, you can grow these green onions yourself instead of buying them at the store. You just got to buy the first pack from the grocery store. Now, if you look at it, okay, let me see if I can trim it back. The soil is very moist. And what I mean by that, you can form a ball. If you can't form a ball and it runs out of your hands, that's still real good. Onions are like succulent plants. They're like cactus, okay? They're like aloe, okay? They need a lot of water. This puppy, I just did this, a day and a half ago with water, and he's already dry again. So we're going to go ahead and add some more water to him. And you sometimes can overwater these. See, he just sucked that right up. He's a hungry little thing. Hang on. All right. So you see how muddy I got the water? That's fine like that. But onions have to face in the western direction as well. I notice if it don't get full rain of the sun, it will not grow well. It won't grow at all, in fact. And the muddy soil is kind of like a necessary thing for it to keep going. And if you want to know how to trim these, you'll see dead stuff, just like as if you bought it in the store. You find all this like dead stuff. You need to kind of trim that. And then these are new sprouts. These are brand new sprouts coming up. And you cut back. All you do is you leave about 2 to 3 inches on it. Have it in the ground. Whatever's above the ground, about 2 inches, you want to leave that. And then trim the top part of it. And that's what you can use in your foods, whether you dry it, you cook with it, or whatever, okay? So that's another thing. And rosemary. Rosemary is another good thing too. A lot of people misunderstand rosemary. It's a good flavor, but people don't realize and like I say, don't take any medical advice from me. Do your own research on it. But according to the natural food or naturopathy doctor stuff, okay, I'll put it that way, that rosemary is good for like an antibiotic kind of situation. It helps reduce fevers, pains, arthritis, very good for memory. So those elderly people that have a memory problem, that can't remember things like onset Alzheimer's or whatever, then what you need to do is clip all these little, green areas of it, because this has been dried out. I dry it upside down in that open plastic bag, and most time it'll come off like pine needles. But you want to take that and put that in a strainer of some sort and put it in a pot of hot water and let it steep for a while, just like tea, and then drink it. Okay? Because it can be used for tea. And then otherwise you can sit here and take some of the stuff off and put it in jars like I did before. Let's see, where's my jar? Okay. See, we need to do it right now because I'm empty. See, I've got these little, here, let me put that here. I've got these little lock jars like so, and they got the rubber seal on them. And I have a huge area of spices and herbs and things. But see how this is dry? We can just sit here and take it right off. I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you see that? You can't see that. All right, here. Right here. Take it off like that. Okay. And again, these are things that you can take in your bug out bag, things that you can store, things that you can grow, that a lot of people don't look at it for food value. Okay. They look at it more for just a supplement kind of thing, for flavoring. Using it in teas when you, let's say we're in the depression. Remember yesterday I had a program on how coffee and tea prices go really up, or they might ration it and what to do. The herbs are the next thing that usually wasn't rationed back in the day. Okay. And they would, yeah, I'm making a mess. I know I should have put it in a bowl, but I didn't. But anyway, you see how I'm stripping it, right? And the branches are loose. Now it takes, this one was hanging in my kitchen upside down in an open plastic bag. And you want to hang these upside down, not right side up, upside down on any herbs. It will take roughly a week, usually about a good week for it to become crispy dry. So if you remember how your Christmas trees were, after Christmas where they're really dry, that's where you want this at. Okay. When you're drying it out. So, and then there again, you grow your rosemary, you dry it out, you put it in your little thing, you label it like I did, and you put it in your pantry, and it's ready to go for whatever dish or cooking thing that you might have, and it saves you money. Now, herbs at the store cost anywhere from the Spanish version of $2 to as much as $5 or $10. It depends on what it is. Right? So if I had this little bit, I don't know if you guys can see it in the jar, that little bit that I had, that would probably be $2 worth right there. Just that. So when you're being frugal and things are adding up and you don't have any money, you grow it, right? All right, now we're going to talk about the ingredients on labels and the difference between some items. So for example, remember we were just talking about this here, which is a stock to make soup with, right? Well, this one here is called instant vegetable base, okay? And this is very flavorful. And when we read ingredients, I'm going to compare right here in front of you guys. Hopefully you guys can see it. Can you see it? Okay, there we go. So right here, we want to first look at how big the actual serving size. So this vegetable one was a tablespoon. This one on the chicken stock is a teaspoon, okay? The calories per that on the vegetable one is 15 to the calories of 10 on the vegetable, okay? Now, you want to look at how much fat and sodium, especially if you're someone that has any health problems, elderly, so on and so forth. But sodium on the chicken base, of course, is 30%, which is extremely high. So unless you're a younger generation, you probably wouldn't be using this item. You'd have to look for something else. And sodium has a major factor even with the COVID because of it causing high blood pressure, or what they call hypertension, okay? So watch the sodium in your beef stock, chicken stock, all the stocks that you might be using for soups and sauces and stuff like that. Now, the sodium on this one here is only 5%. This one here is a vegetarian brand. Usually the vegetarian blends on food, whether it's a soup stock of some sort or sauce stock, has the least amount of damage when it comes to your body with sodium, sugar, additives, etc. I think y'all know that, right? But let's see here. Trans fat, there's no trans fat in it. Fiber, there's actually fiber, of course, because it's vegetable. There's no sugar. And one good thing is there's potassium in it. So if you are bugging out and you need potassium because you're hiking around, you can have a cup of this because it has a little bit of potassium in it, right? If you're elderly needing bananas and all that, you got potassium in it. Now, this one here, it only has no potassium, but it has 1 gram of protein. What was it? Yeah, 1 gram of protein. Okay. So that gives you a little lowdown. But there's also differences in natural spices to your own grown spices to actual other regular store-bought spices. This one here is an organic. And I found it on sale. And it's quite a lot. And I'm going to show you a difference, what the grains of it looks like. This is a commercial grain. Okay. This is an organic grain. I don't know if you guys can see the difference. Let's see. Can you see the difference a little bit? Here, I'll show you the difference in my hand maybe. Okay. Because there's a difference on the quality. And when there's a difference in the quality, there's a difference in nutritional value for yourself and your family. Okay. So the one here, if you can see this, whoops, there we are. This one here is the organic. As you can see, it's really green. It's got some nice long grains. I call it grains, but you know what I'm saying, leaves. And then this one here is more, you know, kind of dried out. Looks like it's, you know, yellowish and it's all broken up. That's a lower quality. Okay. Just going to put these blended together. Now, I did mix in some regular thyme because I did grow some thyme. If you want to know what thyme looks like on the vine, kind of like your rosemary. Okay. And again, you want to wait for that to dry out and then put it in here. See? So, and I put it in a shaker. Remember, see, I'm reutilizing, you know, stuff that you already have. So you're not buying any containers for anything, even for your spices. Okay. So that's that. And then some people have dehydrators. This is for those people out there that have dehydrators. I'm going to give you an example. Usually what I do with my stuff, and I don't know if you can see this very well in the bag, but I blend my herbs like parsley, cilantro, and stuff like that. You can actually dry spices out at room temperature for over a week, as long as it's hung upside down. Spices have to be dried upside down, okay? There is a way to dry like onions and shaved carrot and peas and stuff like that. You can dry in your oven if you don't have a dehydrator, but it's up to you which way you want to go with what money situation you have. But I basically blend it all together, so I call it a soup mix. And I just keep it all together, see, like that, and put it in a plastic bag. I don't even use a container for it. Because if you notice something, if you go online in Amazon, you'll look for like this dried vegetable stuff. And they got them in big, huge, like plastic containers about yay long. And they're like ridiculous prices, like $20 for the thing or something. So, you know, use your stuff from the store, right? Okay. Now, another thing people don't understand is they can dry chilies out, right? These are a vast amount of different chilies. These are all like Spanish version, but they've got some kind of heat to it. I'll put it that way. Okay, you can dry those out. You can also dry out orange, the rinds of the orange. Okay, these are really, really hard, and I keep storing them at room temperature because they're still very hard. Here's a couple things with orange rinds. Okay, and don't zest them. Keep them like they are, right? With orange rinds, you can dry them and store them for a long, long time, as long as it's in a good sealed situation. But these can be put in your tea. They can give you an actual vitamin C value, right? They can also be used in stocks, in sauces for meats and things. So when you can't afford like a jam, like let's say orange marmalade to put over your chicken, dry some of the oranges, and then reconstitute them with water, make your sauce, and you're ready to go, right? Another thing that a lot of preppers overlook, which I'm going to show them here shortly, is seaweed. Okay, seaweed is an excellent source of iodine, sodium kind of thing. Okay, if you don't have enough salt in your pantry, seaweed is very good. And I keep this in there, and this can be used as a tea, right? You can use it in food. You can make sauces and stocks with it and all that. Even a lot of Asian dishes, you know that. But this has vitamin K in it, okay? Seaweed has vitamin K in it. Very, very good source. Very, very, very good source for that and your sodium if you don't have salt. Basil, right? Basil, anybody know about basil? Sweet basil, right? Right there, sweet basil, right? Okay, that's a good item to have on hand. Things that you would want to have on hand for making yourself better would be basil, garlic, thyme, and especially rosemary with lemon. Put that concoction all together in a chicken soup. And if you got the flu or cold, usually within 2 days, unless it's really bad, you're basically back up on your feet, ready to go. You know what I mean? But nowadays, with this new strain with COVID, I don't think, some of that stuff will be right either. What else can I show you? Ginger. This is another staple for the kitchen. Pickled ginger. And I've made some of this myself. Okay. I don't know if you can see that or not. But I slice them pretty thick. What you have to do is actually cook the slices. After you peel it, you got to cook the slices a little bit. And then when it's done, you got to roll it around in sugar, let it dry out, and then I put it like in a bag like this, see? But if you ever have an upset stomach or nausea, or let's say you want to cook Asian food or salad like this one here, we could have put some strips in that and add that to our lunch, and we'd have our not only sweetness to it, but the actual ginger too. Let's see what else. Oh, I think this is going to be an interesting one here. Let's see. I'm going through a lot of my stuff. I know. Bear with me, guys. It's just an afternoon with me, right? All right. All right. This is another one that a lot of preppers overlook is dried cherries. These are special dried cherries. These are what they call sour cherries. Okay. They're very tart. And these are only used usually in beef sauces or stuff, or stocks like that. But also medically wise, maybe I would say if it was a natural food thing, natural remedy, you use it for gout. Okay. Gout. Okay. Let's see what else here. What else do I have here? Curry leaves. Some of you guys know what curry leaves are for. Some of you don't. I got so much here. I'm just going to have to make another show, I think. So, but it gives you an idea. We did a recipe today. That's our recipe of the day. And if you miss any part of this show, just rewind and reload, and you'll get whatever it is that you want to do on any of this information. Please give me a thumbs up and share this video. I will post this video in YouTube and Twitter so that you can share with the Marfugu family and so on. But these are kind of overlooked tips, not only for prepping for emergencies, but also for your bug out bag maybe, or, if something ever happens when somebody has a hurricane, you just never know. You've got to have things stocked up like that. And people don't understand the, the value of spices, because everybody in the prepper community will prep up salt and have a lot of salt and sugar because of the shortage. But there's other derivatives, alternatives on the whole natural food area that can be substitute for the sugar and salt that hasn't been utilized or even talked about until now on any prepping channel. So, yeah. Boy, I've been just talking away, have I? How long have I been talking for? A whole hour. All right. Well, if you guys want to support my channel, we will eventually be on Patreon. It's getting set up. They just got to prove it. And I will post a link in YouTube as well as Twitter. And I'll let you know, or you just check into both of those and you'll see it posted. And we'll get back with you guys on that, okay? And then, let's see, what else? Maybe tomorrow we'll do another cooking one. I don't know. We'll see. This was a lot of effort at my end. But anyway, so, yeah, we'll see y'all next time. I hope you guys all enjoyed anything. Let me check and see if there's any questions I got to ask real quick. Hello, Prepper Chick from Texas. I salute you. Hey, pass my channel on to those guys over there. Let them know I'm trying to help the whole community out, too. Okay? So, yeah. Big shout out to her. And for those who want to do anything with my channel here, share it. We're going to be in Twitter land, of course, and YouTube. We're back up on YouTube. But really important, if you're in Twitter, check out the other links. Make sure you follow me in the Twitch and the other links, because if YouTube censors again and goes down, even though I'm located in the state of Florida, because they can't do that now, supposedly, at least I'll be on Twitch, and follow me on all the links, just in case if one goes down, then another one comes up, and you know how that works. We've lived 6 months worth or more of this censorship crap. So yeah. What else can I tell you guys? Look for the other video too, the one previous of this one that talks about the depression food. We're going to go into next time maybe what's in season and what's out of season on your produce, your vegetables, so that if you're not growing stuff and you want to, at least you know what seasons you'll find some of these foods in your store at the lowest price. Not only for your frugalness, but for you and with all the high prices at the grocery store that's happening, okay? So that's another thing. And then, I don't know. Anyway, we'll see you next time. I hope all's good. Hey, Jules, how you doing? I see you're there, too. Okay, well, Jules, you can just rewind the show, and Prepper Chick, you can rewind the show, and anybody else that missed the show can just rewind the show, because I'm tired. I got to go. All right, we'll talk to you next time. This is Boho with the info. We're out.